Om Shri Gurubhyo Paramagurubhyo Sripadananda Tirtha Bhagavad-Padacharyobhyo Namo Namaha Narayana Paripurna Gunarnavaya Visvodaya Stititolaya Nidhi-Prataya Jnana-Prataya Vibhuda Sura Saukya Dukkha Satkaranaya Vidadaya Namo Namaste Yo Vipralimba Viparita Prabhudan Vadan Risakatvan Buddhitatvadam Sarvesvaro Haririti Pratipatakam Tam Ananda Tirtha Munivarayam Namami पूज्याय राघवेन्द्राय सत्यधर्मरताय च भजतां कल्पवृक्षाय नमतां कामधेनुवे सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विश्विदावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Welcome friends, once again to our Kathopanishad journey. And we have seen up to mantra number 2.2.5, which has said, because that how, this entire prana, which is guiding us, because through its five sort of a different manifestation like prana, apana, vyana, udana, and samana, because it is keeping the entire the body energized as well as they keep the body getting all the toxic element out and to be precisely fit enough to experience the world and get the desired knowledge and enjoy everything, because what is possible in the world according to one's uh, attitude, liking, as well as the vasanas they have carried from the earlier birth, depending upon the circumstances, depending upon the interest one has developed during this birth. But he is also under the, it is not, he is guided by, because the prana himself is not able to do that, he has been directed by what you can call the higher power, the power, the life-giving power, which is giving power. He also gives the power to prana. The prana is called Vayur Anilam Amritam Adetam Basmantam Sariram. We have seen, because he is resident in prana, guiding the prana, how he has to do it and all. Even the breath, what we are focusing on, because the breath that is taking, it is also being directed by the ultimate power, because the ultimate power, we call it self-consciousness, we call it, because as it in Pancharatra and in the Bharata and all, because, then we have got, it is called the Vishnu and or the whatever power we want to call it, or the different religions call, the highest power of the God, in the Zendavista they call the highest power, in Persian religion, and so Jehovah, and because the Moses is the son of the God, and so is Jesus is the son of the God, begotten son of the God. It is finally the God, kingdom of the God, who directs our breath in us. So this is what we have seen so far, as to even prana alone can't, keep the souls or the body, fit enough. It is someone who is directing us. So in this only, because the entire philosophy is brought into play, as well as our attitude and how we are working in this world, because we don't have to unnecessarily get into the sort of a deeper search for what is happening and all. As you are going through the world, as you are enjoying the world, as you are experiencing the world, as you are undergoing, whether it is suffering, happiness, or any other, because the mood or any other sort of vicissitudes that comes in your way, you are able to tackle whatever happens, what you consider as the vicissitudes, and whatever happens, whether to our health or wealth or anything, because mentally, we are disturbed, everything that happens, it all happens as, to our approach to the experience of the world. Our approach to the experience of the world is because we are full-heartedly rather embracing some of the experiences, whereas, because we don't, some of the good experiences are available because we just take it as a passing, because we don't consider it to be something worthwhile to be sort of a savored, for our own benefit. We don't do that. Because we may be seeing, because there could be so many things, because we might have gone into a lecture, because we might be hearing, some person who is talking about the higher concept, or even the, whether in the subject you are interested in, or in the philosophy, or something to do with the sort of, the how to behave ourselves, enjoy the world, and how to sort of keep ourselves, fit, every day, mentally as well as physically, to go through the world, with the total confidence, because very often the confidence level is being brought down, when something happens, it's not up to our expectations, then confidence goes up, goes down, and then we try to work out, and then the confidence comes, and sometimes, we are totally into deep in distress, because we think, I have done everything, what is in my capacity, nothing is happening. These type of things, will keep on happening. Sometimes we will think, our life is in a mess. Something we will say the life is wonderful, because now I am able to get whatever I want. I am able to be in the company of the friends and family, or the relatives, or the like-minded people, with whom I am able to exchange, enjoy everything. May happen. Why this is happening? This is what exactly the Upanishad is trying to bring about. And not only that, they are going to re-emphasize it in a different words, because in this Upanishad itself, so that finally they will be able to. Are you able to hear, madam? Welcome. Oh, why? Because how it happens, are we able to get what we want? Why it is something, sometimes our mood is different? Why sometimes we are able to enjoy the company of some people while we want to get away, because they are all sort of a repulsive, we come out of that and we do it, because it all happens, because at that point of time we have got a focus, and with that focus, we want to sort of give our attention to certain things and to get to know that, but that is not available at that moment. So what happens is, over a period of time, our intellect, gives the sort of a wherewithal to us, so that we are able to get what we want, and we go to the appropriate place, we go to the appropriate time, and we try to get it. Only when there is a meeting of interest, we go there. We don't go to all meetings. We try to discriminate, and we try to find out that whenever we get into something to know something new about it, sometimes our interest is there, is waxing, you are able to get that. But sometimes you find, because the person is going in a tangent, your interest is waning, because you are not able to get anything what this person is talking about. You have heard, because either he's not able to focus something important in us, nor I am able to get anything out of that. It's a waste of time, because it may all happen and all, because it's all happening as per our mental attitude. But one thing good that is said is, once you have, once you don't give too much attention, and once what you want, you focus only on that, you will be able to appropriately able to spend the appropriate time. You may not be wasting your time unnecessarily when something, because it's not our interest is going to be there. Or when you are having something worthwhile is there, you will try to give your full attention, try to enjoy yourself. And why this all this happenings, once we do that, it all comes into our attitudinal change. What we are trying, what we are doing, how we have to do it, how best. Every day we are improving, because what we have done yesterday by learning, because some other things, wrongs, what we have done, errors we have committed, even while operating the computer, because if I have made some mistakes, I learn it. The next day I come and correct myself, because it is a everyday learning process, because I do not know all the sort of a software, requirements, because all the glitches, I'm not able to get through. But slowly I am getting through, and every day is an improvement, and I'm able to enjoy that. But then I am trying to focus, where I am committing the mistake and do it. In spite of the fact, sometimes we may be repeating the mistake. But despite the, because I had the experience, I know everything and all, why I am doing it. Despite, because I am going one level higher, even when I know there are something which is to be done is the correct. This is the word I should have used. This is how I would have I should have talked. But sometimes it happens, because I talk, because maybe, I was not in the right mood, or I had something else at that point of time, happened to me, something, I was very worried about that. So without my knowledge, I have talked and all those things. Why it happens? I know it is correct, but I am not able to execute, because then I have to do it. And I am repeatedly committing the mistake, though I am aware it should not be done. That exactly, once we can avoid that, that can be avoided how? Only when your intention and your action are by and large in sync. Because when you are not when you are not having the mind in particular point of time, and when you do it, it will not have any value for that particular moment. But once you intend, because This is what I want to talk, and this is what I want to do it. And this is how, because you are able to give the full attention to that. That is mindfulness. The mindfulness, once you are able to do whenever you are talking or doing it, it will certainly bring you the best in you, because you have got all the wherewithal, you have accumulated. And in fact, scientifically, they are telling, because our modern 11 million bits of thoughts. I'm not talking about 50,000 thoughts or 60,000 thoughts, that they are talking about. It is, this neurologists, what they are telling, 11 million bits of thoughts are coming into our mind every time, and all of them can't be retained. And because our mind focus at any point of time, 11 million bits are something like a 0 and 1. Because those who know the computer know, because we have got 8-bit computers, 16-bit computers, we have all got 32-bit and 64-bit computers, because the information is translated in the form of 32 bits, 64 bits and all. They are 0, and it's combination of 0 and 1 only. Binary. So, because the entire philosophy comes to that only, the philosophy is binary. The birth, if there is a birth, there should be if there is a 0, there should be a 1. There cannot be anything. So, like that, the bits of information as it is coming, because your mind can't, you will have to filter out, whatever is not required. The filtering out is taking place in the what is called, prefrontal cortical, the cortex. That filters, whatever unwanted information is there. The 11 million bits will come and go. So you cannot be fooling on that. Your ability to process at any point of time, they say neurologists. Well, I think, because this is what we have to, because they have done based on the experiments and observation, there is 40 bits of information only we can do. That means you've got so much of cobwebs to be cleared. So I will just give one small example, because Buddha is supposed to have imparted to one of his disciples. So there was one disciple who was well versed in all scriptures. He knows everything. Every day he asks questions. He gets into, because there is a phenomenal number of scriptures, and he has gone through, because left, right, and center, and he finds, what are all the possibilities, what is the soul, and what is the Brahman, and what is the life, what is importance. He goes on arguing, he does everything and all. He's able to get into a threadbare, because he is constantly searching for something called truth. Where is that ultimate truth? And he gets one of his colleagues, and maybe he happens to be his brother, and he comes, he doesn't have any knowledge of any scriptures. He knows, what is there in front of him, he can do. If you ask him to do, he will do. He is only to that extent. That fellow is, because when he comes to the ashram, because it was said, the Buddha asked him, because you better clean every day, because whatever, full of all dried leaves, this and that, twigs are there, you will go on clearing it. And that fellow constantly is doing only after clearing that. Every time he clears, and again, the accumulation of twigs are there. There is all dry leaves are there. And he is clearing it, and as he clears, goes and all, again it comes. And every day he is clearing, and every day it accumulates. So he one day Buddha was asking, because both the brothers asked him, but you are not, you are in the ashram, because how are you finding it? The other one, who is well versed in scriptures, he says, I have read this, I'm also going through this, but I have got certain doubts, because still, there is a possibility, there are unity also there. There is no unity, there is a consciousness, because it's a momentary consciousness are there. Because that is how Buddhism, expands. There is no permanent consciousness. The consciousness comes and goes. It is something like the Shunyavada. When there is always a void, and the void, it keeps happening. But of course, they also believe in the rebirth. Because in fact, if you go to a place called in Sri Lanka, there's a place, where Buddha is supposed to have got the nirvana. He's supposed to have got nirvana after 17 births. They say 17 births he has taken to get the nirvana. For us, because he was already an exalted soul, it has taken 17 births. So that is how it has happened. They also believe in rebirth. When he asked, because the elder person was talking about in terms of scriptures, the younger one said, every day there is accumulation of all the cobwebs. I am removing it, but every day it comes. So I do the cleaning every day, without fail. But it comes. Then Buddha said, that is what exactly you will have to do. Every day, you will get all billions of thought, what they call 11 million bits of thoughts, that comes and goes. You will have to clear it. How will you be able to clear it? That is what, people say it's the meditation or focusing, because your own sadhana, what you call, because whether you do it as a prayer or whether you are doing it as, as a sort of a getting into your own method of scriptures, or you are doing yoga or focusing yourself and the mindfulness, what you are going to get. That will be there every day, because it's not that, because thoughts will be, once you have removed it, you are not giving any attention to that, it will again come back. It will facilitate, it will come in different dimensions, because you are being influenced by so many things, what you see, what you interact and all. Even when you think about, something which you are going to do, suddenly so many thoughts, how some people had the problem, or some people who have succeeded, or some people, who couldn't still solve the problem, they are still grappling with it. All those thoughts will come. But you don't bother about it. You simply focus on that. What is possible by me within my capacity, let me do that. And then, because you go on doing that, because that is no, you don't have to, what happens is once you give a focus on what you are going to do, and as you deal with it, as you go about it, then you will find, because there could be some mistakes here as obstacles, you will slowly go on dealing with. But instead of going on, because expecting this may happen, that may happen, what do they call klesha? The klesha nasana is the important thing, because in the yogas, you should not have any klesha. Suppose, because someone says the new sort of a strain of COVID is coming everywhere and all, but, it's also treatable. That's what they say. It's not, but you don't worry about it. After all, this is bound to happen. We have already seen, what has happened and all. Even otherwise, so many the mutations are taking place, because of the world is going through the turmoil, because there is a war, because there is all sort of a climatic changes, and people still don't bother about it, because in the whole world is not working as a world universe, because it's all working as a bits of nations, including everyone's interest. So these are all bound to happen. It may happen, because we are not special. Once you have that attitude, because, well, it could happen to anyone, it could happen to me. But anyway, then let's not bother about it. Then let us go with the focus, what is in front of us, try to do that. That will give you the wherewithal, and certainly you will be getting the best out of that. This is what they say, the Kleshanasana. Because, Pratyahara, because one word which is coming in yoga, because that is being debated and discussed about in all what is this Pratyahara and all. Pratyahara is the one, because what this type of thoughts, provoking thoughts, which are all unwanted thoughts, which is not happening, but the possibility of happening comes to you. Either way, it is to the best of your benefit, or even the otherwise adverse. If it happens, you should not, be giving any attention to it. You should not feed it, You should not go on, if it is there, I will get this, if it is there, then I will have to find, these are all the ways. Don't do anything at all. Pratyaharas don't feed those kleshas. Just leave it at that, because someone says to this has happened, in the next neighborhood and all, forget about it. So because he is telling, what he has heard, he has to, the propensity of the human being is to propagate and ripple effect, because no one can, some people can hold and throw it out, and some people can, can be able to let it out, because it happens. And after all, it's a human tendency, it will happen. There could be a fact also. It's not that, because some fact, but mixed up, because from one mouth to it goes to the 10th mouth, there would have been so many sort of spices added to that. The last, person who is hearing, would not have got anything, even iota of, because 10% of what has really happened. Because it's nowadays, fake news also being, AI has come, because they are generating, because their own sort of images, their own information, and all comes about. So therefore, it is all the more necessary now. We should not be having anything, even to believe any of the news that is we are seeing and which is coming into our WhatsApp. Nothing, because all those things, we should give it up. And everyone is giving you the solution. Everyone is giving you, because what is the cure for this, that, and all. Well, you listen to that, but you have got your own experience and you have got it, and you follow, what you are following. Nothing to worry about. This is exactly what. So once you have this attitude mindfully, and when you are following what is good for you, as you have understood this will, how you understood the world, how you have understood in this world. It is by pratyaksha. Pratyaksha is anubhava. You have experienced it. And your own experience cannot replace anything else. In fact, because one of the acharyas, Madhvacharya says, because even if scriptures say something, if your experience is different, you don't immediately accept it. Your experience is more important. So perhaps you will have to read the scriptures more than once, twice. Then you find out perhaps your experience will be more matched. Even the scriptures, whatever they attend, they cannot be sort of overshoot your experience. Your experience is very important. The pratyaksha is very well given importance, in the philosophies. Of course, pratyaksha is considered by all the philosophies. But the importance, of the pratyaksha is relative importance of the pratyaksha. That is exact experience of each person has been taken, with a pinch of, because everyone's, the interpretation differs. But as far as human being is concerned, our own personal experience is foremost than anything, because what we can hear or say. Even if I say, because by doing something, you are experiencing something, I say scriptures say, because it is not correct. You don't have to accept that. See, taking ice cream, it gives you a momentary pleasure. Certainly, you will have to experience that. I think you can't say, because you should not get into all desires, taking ice cream is not anything. Well, because after all, your body needs some nourishment, and as well as, it comes in the form of ice cream, enjoy it. But only thing, don't go overboard and go on, taking piles and piles of experience, pins and pins of experience, ice cream. Don't take it. That, of course, we ourselves know. Our body will not be able to take it, we know that. So experience is very important. Experiencing everything is important, but as well as then only you will get the discriminating power. Unless you know, because the flame is going to hurt you, the child will not, know, because the flame is going to be dangerous. Because the child, it doesn't have any idea, and it just goes, it plays, it's a plaything. But once it comes to know, it is going to hurt, it doesn't. That is how, it gets the entire. So this is the experience is very important. The pratyaksha is very important. And once you focus and give importance to your own personal experience, you will not be weaned away by all sorts of because the people who are telling the kleshas, you will not be getting anything at all. You will not be giving any sort of importance to the thoughts, even if it comes. And once you are having the habit of because the following the meditation or sadhana, not necessarily the meditation is the beginning, because it is not the end. Be all and end all is not there. Once you start meditation, once you are trying to focus, once you are having, because this mindfulness is being brought about, then, because it is not only during that 1 hour period or 40 minutes period, you are meditating, you will be there and all. Once you come out and immediately you will have to deal with the world. At that point of time, your clarity, will have to come out of the chaos that is around you. You will not be come, because it will not be a sort of a bed of roses into the world. Once you come here, and because someone will say, because this has not happened, you have not paid, so many calls will be there, but you will have to deal with the clarity, because that chaos will be there. The clarity you will have to get through, mainly because once you have to be in the meditative, you will have to see, what is to be done. You give priority immediately in front of your whatever is there, and then you think about others. But if we go on telling, I will have to do this, and then I will have to do tomorrow, I will have to do, because this week I will have to complete the payment of advance tax, all these things, will come. But then, you just focus on all these things, you will have to do, because one by one only you will have to do, because no one else is going to do for you. But then focus on that, be mindful and go about it. Then clarity will come out of the chaos. And then, because once belief in yourself is more important than anything else. Even the belief in the religion, before in the belief in the, you should believe, because by believing the religion or believing, because whatever the scriptures, you will be able to get the benefit of your attitude and change in you so that you will be able to live a wonderful life. That belief has to come. So that belief will come, how it will come, but by seeing, because whatever the scriptures are telling, they are telling the live examples of whatever has happened. They are also telling, because whatever is being now scientifically being proven. So all these thoughts and all, that clouds, your ability to do anything. So once you don't give any importance, only to give the importance to the thought, a sculptor, he will only know how to sculpt. He will not be talking about the painting, even if a great painter goes and explains to him and all, he is not interested. He knows only sculpting. He knows, how to take out the chips out of the stone, finally he can create something like that and all. He will be only be focusing on that. So then excellence comes out of it. Why we are after the excellence, because in all these things, we have got the innate quality in all of us that we are having the seed. So the God, the one, he waters all the seeds aggressively, as importantly as possible. He wants every seed to flourish to its full potential. Nichocha bhavam gataha, then they say, because you will have to full from your whatever level you are, you can go up to the highest possible. Ucha bhava. You will be able to reach that. So that is exactly the next mantra, which says, which is going to tell us why, because why we are doing certain things, we are still we know, we don't have to do, but we do it. And despite the fact we have got the discriminating power and all, we will be explaining in the context of this mantra. It is in your page 111. 2.27 is the mantra. It is says, in while in ignorance. Ignorance is that we have not still realized our full potential. We have not realized, how much capable we are. Because once you constrain yourself, the thoughts, because your ability is limited, you are disadvantaged, you got all these things and all, you are constraining yourself. Once you open up yourself, once you are going to flourish to your full potential, how it can happen. So what is the way for, to get yourself full potential flourished? This is what it says. The mantra says, Yonim Anye Prabhadyante. When you are going on thinking about, because all sort of, I couldn't get, because I thought, I will have to go to all these places. See, at least, I thought, I will get into one small house in this place. I couldn't do it. My father has also not left anything, worthwhile for me. Children, of course, they are their own, with all these things, and I go on. Likewise, I build up, the castles of desires. And that desires, because I'm not satisfied, of course, I may have whatever I am having is good enough for me. As of now, I am able to, I should be able to enjoy. This is the what the first mantra of Isavasya Upanishad, the very first mantra which Mahatma Gandhi said, even if the entire scriptures of Hinduism is lost, the first mantra of Isavasya Upanishadam alone is enough to keep this religion for millions and millions of years. That mantra is, we have repeatedly been telling, Isavashyam idahum sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat. He's there everywhere, and he's there in every one of us, in every plant, everywhere he's there. We are a temple, he's residing. And once you know the other person is also a temple, he is residing, because your attitude, will not be, there is no great, you will not find you are anything special, because you know that. Isavasham Idagum Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat. Where he is not there, he is there everywhere in the space. Time and space is only what we have computed. What we call it as a space. Because I am occupying a space. When this body goes up, the space is not lost. Space is there. Because if there is 8 billion people are there, the space has been occupied. Even tomorrow, if the 8 billion becomes zero, the space is still going to be there. It's not going to be lost. The time is again a reference point we have given because it's time immemorial, because what we talk about is the concept time immemorial. So we are the one, we are here for a fleeting moment. In the fleeting moment, how best to make ourselves best? Idagam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam tagat tena taktena pujitaha. Whatever you have got, whatever he has given you by grace, enjoy that. Even if I am in a small hut, I should be able to enjoy. Hut is a wonderful place, on some village or seashore, it is there, and it's good, and you can have it. Not in the apartments, where you have got, there are constant, bickering, between the occupants and always, all those things. And because that is like that. But of course, even if you are in an apartment, enjoy it, because there are apartments which is much worse than yours. And take that into account. The relative, the happiness will have to be there. Accept whatever is there. What is best I can do out of this. I can't do anything which is not in my hands. So this is exactly saying Yoni Anye Prabhantyante. Once you are having this sort of a satisfaction and accept, the wherever you are there, Then the question of, because unwanted desires, because we will see unwanted not only desires, it will also be continuously be coming, because in the Manusmriti, people are talking about it, this and that, and Manusmriti says one thing, because no desire can be satisfied by satisfying one desire. You will not be able to eliminate the desire. It will only grow in geometric proportions. So once you have a car, I think you may have a Maruti, then you will be looking for, because something like a Honda, and then afterwards Benz, and it goes on. Because after all, what you are seeing is you are seeing a value in that. But once you see it is only the mobility, because you have been given the mobility because of an equipment, then, it will lose its value. But we don't say, it is a means of mobility, but we see something value in that. That is why every object, as long as you value in this world, you will have desires. But once you see it as an object, it has got some utility, and utility is not only for you, everyone else. That is all. So you will not be longing for anything special at all. So once slowly you are able to regulate your desires, yoni manye, then you will not be able to have, because it is like, the surface of the water, the waves will be there, you will be fluttering, oscillating and all. You will not get into the depth to the bottom of the ocean, where you will be still. You will not get into that. But as long as it is there, it will be there. So, yonimanye prabhadyante, because once you are having the desires floating around, all of us having because of the experience and still unfulfilled desires, we have got the longings and all, we take the form into some other form, into the void. We enter into the womb. That's what it says. Yonimanye prabhadyante. We enter into the womb. Sharirattvaya deyinaha. Embodied souls are destined to have a body. Shariram is a sthira shariram, because we are given a form. If you want to bring Ganges water, how do you bring? You put in a container and bring it. The body is a container, and the whatever you got, the consciousness, Paramatma, Antaratman, and all is there in the container. And once it goes, this container is of no use. The body is 11 gated city, what we talked about. The 11 gated city is the kingdom of God, because he is guiding and he has got his ministerial powers. These devatas are there, they are king. Once the job is over, they all go out, because this has to be discarded. So what happens? Because that is the question, Yama has asked. The same question they are telling. As long as he says, once that is there, because still, because the soul has got to be taken care of, because some other. So the 11 gated city as the kingdom of the God has taken care of. In this body also, in the container also, you are being taken care of. Whether you call it self or consciousness, and it lights up, your thoughts, it lights up your energy. In the form of prana, it takes everything. That's what, we have seen and all. It does everything and all. But after that, because once you are having, because no sort of a desires and all, then, you don't have to come into, take the birth of another body and all. It will automatically, because you don't have to, the spirit has got the strength, it goes off. But the spirit doesn't have the strength. The spirit is always, restless. It wants to get the highest strength. In that process, because it is being weaned away, by a lot of, the objects and attractions, which are trying to impose sort of give some sort of semblance of value. That is what the very first mantra we saw it. Paranchikani Vetaranath Swayambhu. All these senses and all, they are taking you out of, your interest. The spirit wants to have the inward journey and gets the full strength of it, but the strength is dissipated by taking you out into the worldly objects. But once you experience the worldly objects, then you know it is of no value. So to know there is no value into the objects, you will have to experience. Therefore, your experience, pratyaksha, is very, very important in our philosophy particularly. In no other philosophy, in Western philosophy, experience is being interpreted in a different way and all. But in our philosophy, because whatever you see in a mystical experience, you have experienced. You might have had a mystical experience or something, which is not unknown to others, which other people could not have done. You only would have experienced. So that is personally sort of more valuable to us. Those are all the things to apprehend what is the highest power. You will not be able to comprehend. No one will be able to comprehend, but we will be able to apprehend in minute. Like a lightning, it comes in a flash and goes. And then, because then other souls, because once you still have desires, embodied souls are destined to have a body, because once you have the desires and all. And still, because if you are not still, you have not had so much of a thoughts, wrong thoughts, negative thoughts and all, what happens? Tanum manye anusamyant. Others will continue as plants and minerals and others. We all same body, because the body form goes off. You may bring the gangetic water in a container, because brass container. The container goes off, because once you have all the contamination, because you get into a mineral, you begin into a copper mineral, or you become a part of sand, and then, with the fertility, you may be growing as a weed somewhere or a plant somewhere, and all you take it. So this is how, that's why in our Sanatana Dharma, we have got 84 births, 84 lakh jivas, we assume it is there, of course, it has been listed out also. And there is a Kannada song also, because 7 births going through 84 lakhs, that means 84 into 7, so many births that has taken place. Finally, you get this Narajanma. That's why Durlabham Manushya Janmanam, Viveka Chudamani Shankaracharya says, to get this form of the human body, you have undergone so much of penance and sadhana. Finally, you have come to this. Now you have got, the highest boon of knowing yourself, and your spirit can get the full strength of it. Why don't you use it? That is what, they say sthanam. Otherwise, you will become a plant or mineral, whatever it is there, because more negativity and the contamination comes. Yata karma, yata shrutam. It all happens as per own karmas and knowledge. So what this karma and knowledge is, because they are finally in the form of chitta, what we have seen, because finally whatever you call it, Vijnanamaya Kosha and all those things are that's why. Otherwise, even the soul that is there, when the body is being left and done, the soul carries the impressions. And the soul, when it carries the impression, because it has got its own impression. Because the great masters, they would have carried the highest elevated impressions. Therefore, the soul, even the impressions can't be same. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa would have carried an impression of a very, very high order, because what I would carry in that. Swami Vivekananda, or, because your Paramahamsa Yogananda, or all these, because Ramana Maharishi and all who have experienced, because they have all gone through the cycle of so many births, and as they say, in Dambola, there is a place in Sri Lanka, there is a cave. If you go to the cave, it's all the Buddhist paintings are there and Buddhist sculptures are there. Then they say, that the 17th birth only Buddha got the nirvana. In the sense, he was already elevated soul. He himself has to go through 17 births. For us, because Sankaracharya says, there are so many births, so many lakh births, finally to elevate ourselves. So that in the experience what we gain, so that the objects and the world, will not have any great value. Value in the sense, they are all valuable as long as you get the experience. Based on the experience, once you find, but you have got something much bigger, so much higher to be attained, because that is where, where the desirelessness and all, what it can, we don't know what is the place and all. It takes you to the stage, the everlasting happiness, and you don't have to undergo, because all these cycle of births and that, why it is happening. That's why Bhakti Marga is being very much, the preferred in this Kali Yuga in the sense. Once you do it, because I am not the doer, he is the doer, I am an only instrument, I am getting it done. I only offer everything, because whatever I do as the prasad and whatever I do as the sort of offering and then Naivedya, and whatever he gives, I am taking it as a prasad, whether it is happiness or this one. Once you have the attitude, then, it will be sort of, you are submitting, you are thinking, you will not be swayed by the happiness, you will not be distressed by sort of any sort of adversity, that comes in your life. That is the highest level, they say. But as far as we are concerned, we will simply be focusing on the mindfulness without any, because as far as possible, every day evolving ourselves, correcting ourselves. And then we will also see, how, even though we know everything is correct, sometimes it happens. That I will be explaining the next week. And we will also explaining certain other concepts, because this will give rise to a lot of questions. And it is, questions are welcome, we will have to address it, and we will do that. And with that, because this Upanishad, the next 4 to 5 mantras, we will be seeing in tandem next week onwards. And then it will give you, it will repeat, because the repetition is done so that it is lodged in our thoughts, in our frame of our own outlook, sort of, constantly it is with us, so that, we are able to get the idea of what Upanishad says. Otherwise, because like a one lecture, because in one reading, we may get one meaning, but afterwards, we may forget it. That's why Bhagavad Gita, you read 3 or 4 times, every time you will get a different approach because your mindset has changed. Your experience has changed. Your way of looking at the things have changed. Bhagavad Gita has not changed. Only we are getting it. So it is like that, in this process, we'll be getting much higher knowledge, as we go above. With this, I will try to see, because we can conclude this session. And if you have anything, you can let me know and we can think of that. And we will also take it in the next week also. Yeah, you can unmute.
I'll just ask a small question. You said if intent and action go together, then we'll be in the right space, or other we'll be doing only good. Is that? But where does the ego come in? Sometimes ego,
Yeah,
and
that
my
is,
intent is good. My
this is
action is, yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. You have hit the point. This is exactly because someone is, because telling me, someone is insolent to me. What I will have to do is, well, I will have to sort of appreciate his ignorance, because insolent because he is having a particular way of thought. I will only believe, let him also get the right vibes and do it. And we will explain it, because very beautifully, there are 2 instances in Mahabharata. And in fact, there is one particular sloka which I have noted down. And I will tell it, because this is with a particular reference to Duryodhana. Duryodhana is also gone through all these scripts. He has been taught by the same masters as Pandavas. Why did he do that? Why Pandavas did it? We can't say that then we condemn him because everyone is this, that, and all. It's not that. Because there is one particular, because as we go about in the life also, we will have to understand why sometimes, these type of things happen. And the intention and the action, how, because the sync what we are talking about, what exactly means in our day-to-day life, we will see that next week. With that, I will explain to you, and that is what is going to come in the forthcoming. It is a very, very pertinent. Once we understood, 90% of our negative thoughts will go off. Hello,
Yeah.
Prabhudan. Welcome. How are you? How is Singapore? Fine. He's in Singapore now.
Okay.
Its time is
Oh,
different.
okay. Wow. Only, the reason why I asked you was when in BRC, my colleague, senior colleague, 8 years, Dr. Akalpita Paranjpe, actually stole my research paper and published it on her own name when I was on